So I never know how to start these live streams because it's weird because there's a delay from when I start it to when it starts broadcasting. So you're probably watching me cough now. I don't know what's going on. It's a mess. So let's talk about what's going on tonight. I did a sitar practice. Got about 40 minutes in, maybe an hour. I don't know, something like that. Sort of had some news on in the background, whatever. And then I started watching a video about jiu-jitsu, and I was getting kind of, my eyes were starting to get a little heavy. I thought, you know what? Let's not fall asleep at the desk here. Let's go do something. So let's go browse on Reverb here. Let's look at some gear and let's talk about some stuff. So as always, I don't know where this will take us. We'll go down some rabbit holes, and we'll see how long this is tonight. As always, if you have a question, comment, something you want to look at, gear you want to talk about, something you're into or not into, leave a comment in the chat. Obviously, you can use the super chat feature to make sure I don't miss any comments as they come in. So let's get to it. Back at ye old Reverb. I haven't actually gone on Reverb in probably since the last time we did one of these live streams, just browsing gear, which was good. Good. Maybe I'm breaking that gear research addiction or whatever it is. Not to make light of addiction, obviously. Yeah. So let's just go down. Oh, look, there's a mouthpiece. So I used to play trumpet for, through, whenever you started an instrument, what, 5th grade, 4th grade, whatever that is. And then I did, played the trumpet all the way through high school. And then then I was done. My dad plays trumpet professionally. Mostly retired now. Obviously, everyone is staying at home these days. But he still was teaching students until recently. But he played all over the world, all over the globe, multiple times. So the trumpet, although it was not the instrument for me, still it's something I very much have a soft spot for. It's very much part of who I am. So yes. Let's see, we got a couple comments coming in. It's 12 a.m. on the East Coast. Yes, it is. And Jeff Clark says, hey, Jeff Clark. Let's look at price drops. I love finding. See, if you've been watching these, the thing that I'm really always into is just looking for like deals, or steals, or just things that are interesting. Let's bring this down to, what do we say, electric guitars? Let's just look at some electric guitars. I love these giant pickup K guitars. These Kleenex box pickups. I've never actually heard that term before. That's sort of interesting. This is a Swing Master. Yeah, is this checking on this body, or is this actually a little flame? I can't tell. I think it's actually got a little like flaming going on, which is sort of interesting. Look at this binding. It's sort of amazing. Like, this was the K stuff was never like super fancy back in the day. But this looks like to be a higher end model. I'm actually not totally familiar with all of the stuff in the K line back from 50s and so. But whatever. Only $1,000, 50-year-old guitar. Something fun to have. JM, good joke in the chat there. Well, what's this? Cigar box guitar. This is an expensive cigar box guitar. Almost $4,000 for something like this. All rosewood neck, gold hardware. Sort of funny, you know. What? Of course, obviously, cigar box guitars sort of have a spot in Americana music history. When I was in South Africa, there were some oil can guitars that were really cool that I really wanted to get, but getting one home was going to be a little tricky, so I had to forego that. But I always sort of have a soft spot for that. Let's do that. Let's start a rabbit hole there. See if we can get any oil can guitars showing up. Yeah. Yeah, you know, I was talking deals and steals and, and instruments that aren't very expensive. This one is South African. Guitar does have a dent in the bottom, but does not affect tone and playability. Well, I guess it is an oil can. In this case, it's olive oil. Let's take a look at that. Sort of interesting to see two pickups on this. Comment from JM, how come my channel isn't bigger? Seems like I put a lot of work into it. More people should know about you. Thank you very much. I don't know, you know, things take their time. And I'm also, you know, depends a lot on how often you post and, you know, the content you're making and how searchable is it. There's all sorts of factors that go into it. I'm sort of privileged in my non-YouTube life to get to go to YouTube's office quite a bit and go to Google's office to talk YouTube content creation through advertising and other mediums through some of the work I do professionally. So there's all sorts of things that can make channels become popular or not. A lot of it is just luck and randomness, you know. Something goes viral and then it doesn't. And if it does go viral, do you have the stuff there in the queue to, you know, so that people are going to keep watching new stuff? Or are you going to just miss that moment? You know, and I've had various levels of sort of experimenting with YouTube over the years, but I'm trying to be pretty consistent now. And I think liking to just sort of, you know, I call my channel Not Bad Films. My joke is always that, like, see if I can remember my joke. You know, not everything's maybe going to be great, but at least it's not that bad. But probably it is. I don't know. I just try to make stuff that I think is fun and experiment and learn and do different things and see what sort of interest, you know. You know, what's the stuff that if I feel like doing a live stream, I'm going to do some live streams. So that's sort of what I've been doing now, and we'll see how people sort of like these, respond to these, you know. So let's look at some guitars from the 90s. I always like to look at stuff from the 90s and 80s. I always feel like there's a good opportunities to find deals there, like this 94 Nighthawk. Right, only $7.99. Let's see how, you know, this is great condition or very good. Comes with the Gibson case. You know, that's a unique guitar. Right? You know. 92, he said in the post here, right? Is that right? 94. See, I don't know Gibson serial numbers in the 90s so well. So there's a couple ways you can read this. And this is probably worth looking up. Maybe this is a video. Maybe this is like a non-live stream video, and I'll do a real video on this. But If you look at the serial number, it says 94022 726. So I'll try to demonstrate this with the mouse. But in guitars, let's say through the 80s, you take this first digit, and then so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this fifth digit, and that would tell you the year. So if this was an 8 and a 3, you would know it's from 83. And then the numbers in the middle indicate what day of the year it was made. I'm guessing since there's no 400 days in a year, that by the 90s they changed it to being the first two digits were the year, and then probably 022 is the day of the year, although I'd have to confirm that. But you know, some fun facts if you're getting bored, you know. JM says, yeah, I just feel like you're a great guitarist. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's very kind. Thank you. And your channel is just not as big enough, but you do a great job, and you got me as one of your 5K subs. Thank you. Thank you for being a subscriber, for joining this live chat. Look at this Strat with P90 like soap bars. So this has got to be a mod, right? Yeah, Fender Strat Special with upgraded Seymour Duncan vintage P90s. Sounds like a Strat but beefier. That sounds about right. I would imagine it sounds pretty beefy. Reminds me a little bit of the Reverend 390 guitars. What's going on with these streaks, though? This looks a little strange. Can't imagine. It seems to be like a wood grain issue. But all zoomed in here. Let's talk. I like these vintage style sort of split tuners where you stick the string and bend it over. You got to stretch out the string and then cut it, stick it and bend it and twist it around. But I like those. They're a little hard to sometimes learn to judge, but it's sort of like an old-fashioned concept of a locking tuner. If you like sort of Strats with the P90s like that, there's a Reverend Jetstream 390, which is pretty cool. 99 Fender Mustang Competition Blue with the racing stripe. It's funny, I had a friend that really wanted a racing stripe Mustang. This was about it was right before I got married. We went guitar shopping because he was looking to buy stuff, and I just love to go to guitar stores, obviously, as this live stream might indicate. And he was looking for something with a racing stripe, and I couldn't believe it's a fair number of music stores in New York City here that didn't know what he was talking about. But clearly they were doing it through this is crafted in Japan. Ooh, I like the Japanese made stuff. I've bought stuff from Rivington, guitars here. I bought patch cables from them. I bought a guitar slide from them. I bought a lot of stuff from them. I bought my Strat from them. I don't know if I said that. They were someone who I feel like really benefited from reverb, in that I've seen they now have 2 storefronts, a couple doors down from each other in the city here, and they keep a pretty wide variety of stock that they move through pretty rapidly. I can't say I'm a huge fan of of the guy that runs the place. He can be a little brisk, but I get it, you know. Like it's a gig, and he's got a lot of probably people that are just coming through and not buying, and he's got to pay rent and pay employees and stuff. So I get it, you know. And to be fair, they've always done me right, so I can't really complain. I talked about one of these K parlors an episode a while back, on a live stream a while back. And they sound like garbage. I think it's why even it being as old and vintage and whatever they are, they were cheap guitars back in the day, and they clearly still are. They haven't they don't have some magical quality, you know. Well, this got to be a refinish or something, right? 57 Danelectro U1 single pickup cutaway. I don't know. It's pretty beat up looking. Early vintage version with the thicker body, single lipstick pickup. Sounds incredible. It's been refinished orange. Yeah, okay. I wonder when it was refinished. It's got seen some wear even since then. Danelectros have this, a lot from this era have this metal nut. Very curious to play this. You know, maybe next time when the world gets back to normal, it'd be fun to check this out. Played a Danelectro baritone, vintage Danelectro baritone at Rivington. I think that was the last time I was there. No, that's not true. I've been there since. Yeah, they had and then they had a baritone acoustic at one point. That I'd gone to try, but now let's talk about this. Let's talk about this pre-owned, circa 1992 Electro Harmonix Big Muff Pi, black and blue, right? Fantastic Russian-made Big Muff with huge tones, super warm and fat, has huge low end, great for guitar and bass. Okay, so just wait here. I'm gonna try to not bump things over while I get up. So let's talk about this pedal, because I have one of these. This is an interesting pedal. Bought this new. I actually had the there's hair stuck on here. I actually had the wooden box for this. I don't know. I kept it all through college, and at some point I was making space before I knew what stuff was worth or that stuff was collectible or whatever, and I tossed the box because I was using the box to hold other guitar parts and junk and stuff, and I really regret that. Anyways, so this pedal it's cool. It's also super annoying. I'm not gonna. I've used this many times in different rig setups, and I'll put it on my board again for fun. So if I even used this in a video recently talking about the Full Tone Supertrem 2 version 2. These are made in Russia during the sort of relaunch of Electro Harmonix. I cannot talk tonight. I'm sorry. So these pots are super cheap feeling. The shafts on them so easily bend and break. When I bought this one, my cousin bought one at the same time. His did not survive, and his saw way less action than mine did. You can even see on mine. Let's see if I can get this thing here. You can see this pot is bent, just from probably being bumped with a foot. The knobs turn, and then they're sort of they'll turn a little more than they're supposed to. It's super dark. It misses transients and high end crazy. I find that this is the setting I use. Sustain just on. It's nothing, click. It clicks almost on. And then just don't move it past them. And then use your volume as much as possible. And then tone, I don't know, put it wherever you need for like whatever you're doing. So it seems like I'm looking off, so I'm watching to make sure I have this in the monitor. And I don't know, if you're like looking to buy vintage Big Muff pedals, certainly for $200, like you can get into that market. But as someone who's owned one forever since this model was available, it's not like been like I gotta have it on my board at all times. It's more of a fun thing. Most annoying thing of all is that the input and the output position on this pedal are reversed. So if you're trying to put this in line with all your other pedals, you have to go all the way to input and then come out of output, and it just makes cabling a mess. It doesn't have it only does the 9-volt battery. You can do a battery clip like power supply adapter, but whatever. And it's just something to talk about since it's come up, you know, on the ye old internet here. All right, let's see what else. Let's go down Rivington's catalog of stuff more. Let's give them some business, right? They deserve it. You know, New York City is hurting right now. So there's something you like. Just actually, if you know, for $199 that he's listing this for, that's a very fair price. I've seen that for certainly more elsewhere, and price on that has gone up a lot in the last even couple of years. All right. I'm just noticing the stuff's been in the chat. I haven't checked that in a while. I'm going to quick skim that now. As always, please use the chat, and you can use the super chat to make sure if there's something important that you want me to catch. All right, so JM says he has a Boss CE2 Waza, and it's super muffled, distorted. I don't know if that's the way it's supposed to be, but I'm not sure. The Boss CE2 Waza, that's the chorus, correct? What's the sort of, so are you on there's 2 modes, I think, on that pedal, right? I'd be curious to know. So are you using the chorus before distortion or after distortion? Let me know. Here's a 72 Big Muff Pi. This is the triangle. Obviously, this is $899. Will this pedal eventually get up to that price range? I have no idea. If it does, I'll be pleasantly okay with it. But I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's it's a fine pedal for like doom and stoner rock and like super heavy like chords. You're just gonna hit it and it's gonna go. Yes, it has that violin sustain for sure. 1980 Gibson Firebird. It's interesting. I like the 3-color bird. I don't know if I've seen that very often. Banjo tuners, which I'm obsessed with. So there's a visible serial number on this. No. I'm gonna say I can't read that. Maybe it's in the description. I'd be curious. 89 Strat Plus. So this is the other thing, you know, I'm guessing this is going to be refinished. This is a 65 Jaguar. Yeah, refinished. But Rivington seems to not be opposed to getting refinished guitars in their bevy of stuff they sell. So you can find some vintage stuff for some fairly low cost as a result of that. It's a guitar I actually looked at. I thought I was going to maybe go to Rivington to try this SG Deluxe Firebrand. The SG. can see it says there, it's not SG, it's the SG. These Firebrand guitars, when they were first released, they were walnut, and instead of having a logo decal, it was a true fire branded, like you'd brand a cow or something. It was burned into the wood. Later they did these deluxe models, which have finishes, and this is gold burst. I'm not sure. I know that the deluxe, the Pauls, are mahogany. I don't know about this, but it's fairly high for that guitar, almost $2,000. So in question to this this comment about the CE2, where it was in the chain, James says he has it in the FX loop. Interesting. I'm surprised. So you're saying when it's in the it's super muffled in the FX loop? Yeah, I don't know. I would think you would get sort of your clearest sound. Have you tried just running the pedal by itself in the effects loop to make sure there's nothing happening with the Wampler pedal? I don't know if that pedal has a boost, not a boost, a buffer in it or not, or even just running into the front of your amp just by itself. See how that sort of reacts. You know, the other thing too is depending on the sort of chorus sound you're looking for, like where you put it in the chain will affect that. If you want a more sort of like 80s chorus sound, you know, versus like something that's you know, I don't know, not an 80s chorus sound, like where you place it in the chain will affect that. So certainly experiment with that. But I'm surprised if you're saying that it sounds, you're losing a lot of high end off of that pedal. I haven't really heard that from other users. Yeah. Tell us more. Now here's another big muff. This is from '78, only $2.99 again. You know, you know, it's so funny. So like clearly the market for these big muff pedals is, you know, just all over the place, you know, depending on what people are into at the time. I would say if you have the money, I would buy a JHS Bonsai. No, not the Bonsai, the Muffaletta, which is like all the major big muff circuits sort of in one pedal, with a small form factor and nice usable controls. Here's a Guild Brian May guitar. If anyone's familiar with these. How's the audio on this tonight? I haven't really checked. I'm using a different camera and mic setup now. I think it's sort of working a little bit better with the green screen, but I'm not sure how the audio is. It's always sort of a mix. I'm playing with different settings. Anyways, I was going to say these. Sorry, I got off track. These where was it? These Brian May. You know, he has this red ones special. Is that what it's called now? He's had a lot of various versions of his guitar made by over the years. I'm not sure really how the Guild ones are in comparison to the others. But if you're not familiar, the pickup switches are either turn the pickups on or they reverse the phase on them and all sorts of, you know, fun stuff like that. his original guitar he made with his father, which is incredible that he made a guitar with his dad that ended up being the guitar for his whole career, really through Queen and touring all over. And I think like the wood of the neck is made out of an old fireplace, stuff like that. So this is a cool looking K. I like when they have this. They have these real long. The body on this must be pretty small. You'd think it was a baritone or something. But yeah, look at this real. Was there like 3 frets on this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah. It's a funky headstock shape though. That's pretty cool. Now this is a pedal, the small stone by Electro Harmonics. This is a pedal I did not include in my 5 pedals by Electro Harmonics you must own or something like that. Video I had done a couple years ago, which is like probably one of my most popular videos on my channel. And I decided not to go with the small stone. I went with the Electric Mistress. But basically everyone's really mad I didn't include this pedal. So it's definitely a runner-up. Now, if I remade that video, I probably would go with it now. But you know, I like the Electric Mistress because I thought it's very unique to that company. But I guess the small stone is you know, because the Nirvana used it and Kurt Cobain and stuff. It's very iconic to the brand. Now these are interesting. We were looking at the SG, and I was talking about the Paul guitar made by Gibson in the 80. This is a 335S, so this is like a 335, which would normally be a semi-hollow, and now it's a solid body. These were sort of during that when they were doing the Firebrand guitars and stuff. You know, I thought this has like a weird extra switch added to this, but I can't tell in in this picture. You have a rhythm and treble switch, and then there's this other little mini toggle switch, which I don't know if that's standard on here or not. I don't sort of remember that. Let's go down a little rabbit hole. What do you say? Anyone opposed? Let me know. Here's the Firebrand. Yeah, like I don't think I see that many toggle switch on this version. I'm just gonna S Deluxe. Let's check this one from 81. I'm curious. Oh yeah, it does have a mini toggle. So maybe the Deluxes have maybe a single coil, or I'm guessing maybe it's a phase. I don't know. Interesting. If you know what that mini toggle switch is for, if you're watching this in a replay or something, you know, let me know. I'd be curious to know more about that. Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. This is interesting wood grain choices here. As you can see, there's a solid at the center, and then wings look like they've been added to this. You get a nice stripe effect, but it doesn't. You'd think it would be a little bit more matched, but I guess this is sort of the complaint of Gibson in this era. You know, people were frustrated with things like the multi-piece necks and the volutes on the back of the headstock. Some of those things I don't really care about. James asking if I think his CE2 is damaged? I don't think so. I'd be surprised. Which output are you using? So you have your two switches here, right? You have your CE and one, right? Your S, or is this a three-way toggle or a two-way toggle? Let me know. And then you have your outputs. Only thing I can think is make sure that you're using the right output. If you're not running in stereo, make sure you're not using the wrong output. Yeah. So standard mode, perfect reproduction of the legendary CE2 sound, and CE1 features chorus and vibrato. I would be surprised if it's broken. Boss does not really. It's not an issue I've really heard of regarding their products. And the fact that, I've got some Boss pedals that are pretty old and have not broken. And the fact that they have stuff, going back forever that's still not, that still functions great. I mean, their quality is pretty well established there, so I'd be very surprised. And then, yeah, okay, so it is a three-way switch. You use the middle position, you run it in mono. Yeah, I guess I'd be curious to know if you still get that muffled sound in positions 1 or 3 on the three-way toggle versus position 2 or the middle position, just to see if that's affecting the sound at all. And like I said, the best thing to do is just run it by itself and see what's happening when you just have it by itself, going into the amp or through the effects loop. It could be an issue more with the effects loop than it is with the pedal. I don't know if you said what amp you were using, but that I might almost look at that. All right. What sort of pedals are people into these days? Leave me a comment and let me know what sort of pedals you are into and you want to know more about, or you want to explore, you're drooling over, or stuff you're digging. Yeah, let's do that. All right, and then we'll start going down that route, and we'll see sort of what where that takes us. All right. So I'm gonna give it a second. All right. So sorry. JM says his pedal, his CE2 sounds amazing clean. So yeah, if it sounds good on the clean channel, and when it's just by itself and the amp is clean, then I don't think it's the pedal. I think it's probably more about how your pedals are interacting, how it's fitting through the effects loop, maybe on that Marshall Origin 50, maybe it's a little bit, that something's happening there, or I don't some amps the effects loop's not that great. I'm not totally super well versed in all the Marshall stuff because I'm sort of like the Fender sound. So that's sort of where I sort of stick my knowledge, but yeah. Wild 100 says, I play Guitar Hero. That is good for you. I like Guitar Hero. I haven't played it in a while, but I like it. And if Guitar Hero gets more people playing guitars, then I am all for it. All right. Now, what do people think about this Paul Gilbert pedal here? Where is it? Is anyone sort of interested in this? I have to say, I'm not necessarily a Paul Gilbert, fan or super fan. I have nothing wrong with him. I think he's really funny. He obviously plays really well. I like him in interviews a lot. I'm sort of curious about this pedal. I like sort of the mid-frequency sort of tweak. Yeah. The Korg Miku. This is a crazy pedal. I don't know if anyone pays attention to how this pedal is doing on the used market. But it's doing quite well on the used market. You know, here's $500, Chicago. You know, here's one in Islip, New York, $400. San Diego, $4.99. There was a period of time where I thought to myself, you know what? I should get a Korg Miku just for the fun of it. You know, it'll make for some good YouTube videos. And I have a stereo rig. Maybe I'll try to, can I use a Korg Miku and make it sound like a really cool thing? And I'll put Korg Miku on one side, now, you know, and a stereo amp rig. You know, maybe I'll do some other stuff. Maybe I'll put like a tremolo effect on that side. Like, we'll make it work. And we'll have two things. It'll be super stuff, sounds moving, and I'll be very sonic scape. You know, to maybe delay, lots of delay. And I went on, I think it was Sweetwater at the time, or Amazon or something was going to buy it. It was like $99. And I was like, oh yeah, we got to do this. Totally going to do this. And then I never got around to buying it. And I think it was on sale for $99 because it was like the end of life distribution, and people were looking to just stop having them in stock. And then I thought, I should do that. And I quickly learned that the Korg Miku has gone way up in price. And that was not going to happen. Look, here it is. June 2017, it's $100, right? And now it's in this, like, let's say $350 range. I would be really surprised if they don't find other ways to either Korg Miku Mark II, you know, like other versions of this. Obviously, this pedal's made 1 million views for Rob Chapman's guitar channel. So yeah, so whoever was asking why doesn't my channel have more viewers or more subscribers or whatever, that's why, because I didn't get around to buying a Korg Miku when I should have. Okay, yes, so just jumping into some comments here. James says, watch the JHS video where Paul Gilbert demos. Totally, I watched that video. I also watched, there's a Sweetwater video where Josh from JHS interviews Paul Gilbert at Sweetwater to go over his pedal board. That's also a very good video to watch if you're looking for something to do on a what is now very early Tuesday. And yeah, I agree. I think it sounds like a cool pedal. I like the color scheme. I like the branding. I like the, you know, but I'm not like a Paul Gilbert fan. Like, I don't know if it really works for me. And I've gotten to my board currently is almost like distortion less, non-distortion. I have an overdrive pedal on there, but it's very rarely used. I've been really focusing on like clean sounds and modulation effects. I got more modulation effects than I need right now. Jeff Clark, you bought 2 Mikus for $99 each. Well done. Let's all take a moment to congratulate Jeff, Mr. Clark, who was in his infinite wisdom bought 2 Mikus for $100. And now is in a great spot. And we're all jealous. Because now we all want Mikus. And no one can get them. Oh my goodness. Alright, so what to next? What's some other things here? I got to do this because I've been getting a lot of comments recently that people said I'm not doing enough sitar videos on my channel, and I don't know. I got to take a moment. Oh wait, hold on. This is for real. I got to look at this for real. Where's Marsh Music located? California. So the sitars that I own, I have 2 of them. They're Barun Ray, Huron Roy's son made sitars. One I purchased from my teacher, my sitar teacher, Ustad Ikhlaq Hussein Khan, my guru, if I may be so honored to say. And one I purchased from him, and then the second one I found on Reverb, actually, for way less than this. It was a music store that was somehow bought it on consignment, and then they chipped something, they broke something on it, and then they had to buy it outright. And they'd had it for years. Like literally had it for years, and they just couldn't get rid of it because no one was, who was buying a sitar. And so I went in, I showed up and went into the store to play it in person, and there's not very many people that probably come through and actually play a sitar. And I got a very good price on it. Whoa, let's talk about this. Hold on. What's going on with this floor here? I mean, I know we all have home improvement things that we got to do, but it seems like an odd place to take the photo of the sitar. Anyways, are there any instruments that you play, or that you want to play, or you wish that you could play? Let me know. I'm very curious about that. I'm also very curious about these. These are copies of the Danelectro or choral sitar guitars from the 60s. Jerry Jones, sometimes they're called. Jerry Jones. Wait, hold on. I don't want to get my information messed up. Let's start fresh. In the 60s, there was a Danelectro choral sitar. Right? It looks like this. Vincent Bell, that's the word I'm looking for, the name I'm looking for. And Danelectro now makes a version that you can see here, which is sort of a simplified version of that in their modern catalog. These old sitar guitars are go for quite a lot, as you can see. This is like $4,000. Right, and then if you then now Jerry Jones makes one. So there's a modern version, and it's more like a more of a master and built instrument. Right, prices are obviously less. This is a used one. And then there's the Stars made one, which we're just looking at. This Stars brand is interesting to me for a couple of reasons. One, if you've ever seen Buddy Guy play live or on TV doing his song Skin Deep, this is the guitar that he's playing. It's one of these sitar style guitars. And his is the sort of the red crackle, not this white, but it's the company headstock, I believe, is Stars. My last name is Starr with 2 R's, but whenever I see sitars and stars together, that's sort of like something I have to be interested in, because I gotta know more about that. So I have one of these made by Rogue, and there's videos of that on my channel if you want to just search sitar guitar or sitar. No, you gotta search sitar guitar. That will probably find it. If you type sitar, you'll get a bunch of other stuff. Which is made by oh goodness, I'm blanking now. I'm so out of it. Who made Rogue was the brand that made it, and which I think is the in-house brand of Musician's Friend. It's sort of a cheap sort of knockoff version. It plays okay. It's got intonation issues, but which is sort of the general style of that guitar. It's not surprising for it to have intonation issues at all, because the way that bridge that in a sitar is called a jawari. And when a fretted instrument, you know, your frets are obviously set, and the bridge is sort of curved, and you bend, and it's sort of the design on the Rogue one is not perfect. I go over that. I have a video, an older video about that guitar. If you want to know more and get in depth on that, you can watch that. Anyways, these guitars are obviously something I'm interested in, though, so it's neat to see this one made by Starr show up, because I don't see that brand come up that often. And of course, this Huron Roy is interesting to me because that's sort of the brand of sitar I sort of play. These are called travel sitars, and they have this sort of more guitar style headstock, and then this one looks to have a full-sized body, but other travel sitars, let's see if one shows up. They have like a thinner shape, thinner body. Oh, here is a good pick. They make this like thinner body, almost like a guitar, acoustic guitar body or something sort of shape. And later in life, you'll see Ravi Shankar play a travel sitar like this, just because it was lighter, easier to hold. You can be mic'd. It's electric. You know, it has a piezo, whatever the word is, pickup in it. And so it was sort of a little easier because he was like 90, although it was not this brand. He had a different brand, I believe. It's also by Marsh Music. Who's Marsh Music? Let's check out Marsh Music. What do they have? Okay. Looks like they sell a lot of Indian classical music instruments and a Trainer custom valve 80-watt 4x10. Only $2.99. Local pickup only, so it's not going anywhere anytime soon. Everyone being under lockdown. Hopefully they're staying safe. Hopefully you are too. Social distancing is key to us getting back to life sooner than not social distancing. So please, for the sake of your friends, neighbors, parents, grandparents, and everyone else, stay away from everyone else. Okay. All right, well, I feel like we've done a good chat tonight. We've sort of gone over a bunch of stuff. We've done started off talking about I took a sitar, did some good sitar practicing tonight, and we finished looking at sitar guitar, so we went full circle. All right, so hope this was fun for everyone. All right, thank you so much for watching. Bye, everyone.